to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. Stated, Stacy Toussaint, the boss of Inside Out Tours, which runs the New York City Slavery and Underground Railroad Tour, states that people are often surprised by how important slavery was to New York City. Quote, they don't realize that enslaved people built the wall, after which Wall Street is named after. By some estimates, New York received 40% of U.S. cotton revenue through money its financial firms, shipping businesses, and insurance companies earned. But scholars differ on just how direct a line can be drawn between slavery and modern economic practices in the United States. Quote, people in non-slaved areas, Britain, and free U.S. states routinely did business with slave owners and slave commerce. But Gavin Wright also states that the uniqueness of slavery's economic contributions has been exaggerated by some. Slavery thrived under colonial rule. British and Dutch settlers relied on enslaved people to help establish farms and build the new towns and cities that would eventually become the United States. Enslaved people were brought to work on the cotton, sugar, and tobacco plantations. The crops they grew were sent to Europe or to the northern colonies to be turned into finished products. Those finished goods were used to fund trips to Africa to obtain more slaves, who were then trafficked back to America. This triangular trade route was profitable for investors. To raise the money to start many future plantations, owners turned to capital marketing in London, selling debt that was used to purchase boats, goods, and eventually people. Later in the 19th century, U.S. banks and southern states would sell securities that helped fund the expansion of slave-run plantations. To balance the risk that came with forcibly bringing humans from Africa to America, insurance policies were purchased. These policies protected against the risk of a boat sinking and the risk of losing individual slaves once they made it to America. Some of the largest insurance firms in the United States, New York Life, AIG, and Athena, sold policies that ensured slave owners would be compensated if the slave they owned were injured or killed. And by the 19th century, exports of raw cotton accounted for more than half of the United States' overseas shipments. What wasn't sold abroad was sent to mills in northern states, including Massachusetts and Rhode Island, to be turned into fabric. The money southern plantation owners earned couldn't be kept under mattresses or behind loose floorboards. American banks accepted their deposits and counted enslaved people as assets when assessing a person's wealth. In the recent years, United States banks have made public apologies for their roles that they played in slavery. In 2005, J.P. Morgan and Chase, currently the biggest bank in the United States, admitted that two of its subsidiaries, Citizens Bank and Canal Bank in Louisiana, accepted enslaved people as collateral for loans. If plantation owners defaulted on loan payments, the bank took ownership of those slaves. J.P. Morgan was not alone. The predecessors that made up Citibank, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo are among a list of well-known United States financial firms that benefited from the slave trade. Quote, slavery was an overwhelmingly important fact of the American economy. And that was stated by Seven Burke, Leonard Bell Professor of American History at Harvard University. So I just wanted to, bring that up because you have a lot of people out here that say that, oh, slavery doesn't account for a lot. It really had nothing much to do with the United States, and that didn't really have much to do with building and bringing up and making the United States what it is today, when realistically it had a very major part, not just in a sense on the aspect of Wall Street, but also with the banks that we have at this moment in time, aka the old money. And like I said, these are the same people that want to turn around and inside the state that, hey, we don't see color, and everybody is everybody, and these are also the same exact entities who, when you look through a variety of news stories, they've stated that they've turned down black people for wanting to get loans or mortgages, or call the police on black people due to the fact of, oh, we can't believe or fathom that they have this much money, or this black person wants to pull out this much money. Like I said, people have to very much understand um, the controlling aspect of the banks, and how it is that a lot of these things work. Case in point, in one city, right? Let's like any city that's directly out there, a highly populated city. If you were to take all of those people who naturally bank at one bank, like let's say it's a Wells Fargo or a Bank of America or whatever it is, all of the people in that city that primarily bank at that bank, if all of them were to go to that said bank and want to all pull out their money, do you not understand that they would call the police? Do you not understand that they would close up shop? That's because the banks don't hold the amount of money that they say that they hold. This is due to the fact that the banks practice fractured lending, right? Like I said, people have to really understand a lot of things when it comes to the system and how it is that they decide, right? The ones above decide to go about it, and how it is that they want to work, right? The system in order to maximize and make the most off of not even just their money, but your money, right? Because whenever you put your money into a bank, it is essentially their money, right? And like I said before, these are the exact same people that held black people as collateral. They owned slaves, they had slaves. In certain instances, I forgot which movie it was, but there was a movie a little bit further back, early 2000s, and they showed you the prisons that are directly under Wall Street. Like I said, hey, it is what it is. But let me know what you guys think about this information in the comment description below.